ASP Russell joins me. Our first conversation for 2026. I want to wish him, his family, and by extension, his colleagues in the TTPS, Happy New Year. I know you're at the center of such lots of debate and conversation, but listen, you know, as I always tell people, you all don't make policy, you all enforce policy, and we have found ourselves in a very interesting place at the start of 2026, but we'll treat with that later. Happy New Year to you, man. Welcome.
Well, good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. On behalf of my Commissioner of Police, Deputy Commissioner, the entire executive and first and second division officers of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, Happy New Year. And Happy Carnival. Happy New Year to you, Mr. Williams.
Yes.
And Happy Carnival to you, your family, and everybody here at CNC3.
Thank you so much. Are you, and of course, you know, I appreciate the greetings same way.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you surprised with the lack of compliance, the fact that everybody's scrambling over the line? I know we're going to deal with back to school tips and stuff in a few, but we must treat with the biggest story, which is the fines. Now, the 17,000, I told folks this morning, don't be alarmed, because last year around the same time, it was a similar number. It was about 1,600 plus. So it seems that at the start of the year, there is this ramped up drive to get folks in a gear. And we're seeing long lines by the inspection stations. We're seeing folks didn't even realize license was expired. People driving with no insurance. I mean, that is a no-no. Some folks genuinely, honestly, officer, they really don't know. They don't know the license expired. They don't take a note of it. But I guess this exercise here now, and with the current fine structure, I think everyone needs to really pay attention and probably put a little reminder somewhere to not be caught in this web of tickets that's clearly in a disproportionate kind of manner right now. I mean, 19,000 and stuff people having to deal with.
Well, let me first say to you, Mr. Williams, and Trinidad and Tobago, the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service is not out to terrorize any motorists. We are not out to be unjust, wicked, unfair, unethical to anybody out there. We don't make the policies. Yeah? We cannot increase or decrease fines. And even there are cases where somebody may find themselves and believe that they should not have gotten that ticket. You would have to understand that the motorists have to commit some sort of breach, whether it's tint, whether it's driving dangerously, whether it's no seatbelt, whether it's using your cell phone, etc., to be issued a fixed penalty ticket in the first place. What the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service want to see, and what we believe the public would appreciate, is changed behavior by way of compliance. The fines, indeed, it has risen, it has doubled. But if you don't do anything, you would not be fined. So do the right thing because it's the right thing to do, and you will not be fined, you'll be fined.
You'll be fine, yes, yes, I understand. But is there room at all for discretion if somebody really genuinely didn't realize, let's say the license expire a couple of days or a week, they just really, you know, a small infraction?
The thing about it, I hear you with that discretion. No, there's no room for that. And I would tell you why. No, this is not something as simple as officer driving down the road and my vehicle just went into that pothole and the back bulb blew. I didn't know it blew. It's not something as simple as that. What if your license expires at 8 a.m. this morning, and whilst on your way to an 11 o'clock appointment at license office, you get into an accident?
What happens?
And that's what I'm saying. For that period, you don't have a license.
So you're in problems.
And your insurance covers what? A licensed driver. So you're now looking at, you're not being covered by the insurance and you're driving on an expired license. So let's say that person gets into an accident, the insurance refuses to fix because the onus is on you now. So let's say I have a fancy vehicle and somebody gets into an accident because their license has expired and they are on the way to the licensing office to have it renewed. But for that period, they have no license. And your insurance only covers a licensed driver. Then who fixes your vehicle?
Are you surprised by the long lines in terms of those who were not in compliance and trying to obviously put things together?
I am I am indeed surprised, but when you look, and this is not the first time because there was a rush for inspection stickers years ago under a different government, you know, I find there should not have to be an increase in fines to provoke compliance. It makes me wonder as a motorist. Like, for instance, I inspected my vehicle in November 2025. Before this, because I knew the age of my vehicle and that my vehicle needed to be inspected. All we're asking for is persons to be responsible and do the right thing because it's the right thing to do. Don't wait, because it's $300. We all find money to do what we want to do. Agreed?
Of course.
$300.
Compared to 2,000.
We have no need to have this amount of lines. Let us do the right thing. Because we all say, I'm a law-abiding citizen. And a law-abiding citizen means doing the right thing because it's the right thing to do.
Indeed, and you know, I'm happy we were able to touch on it, and I guess we will expand on the conversation in the weeks ahead.
But let me ask you this: how do you feel about my response?
No, I think it's fair. I just the part that I still need to work on is when you said no room for the discretion, no room for the blind, and I believe there's always that human. Because I spoke this morning about the human interaction, and let's probably touch on that. If the motorists, because I've always heard on the program, they say you comply and then complain. I know sometimes people go into attitude, they go into a mood, and the interaction goes downhill one time between officer and motorist. If someone stays calm, if they're respectful, if they, I wouldn't say, you know, they're not like they're trying to bat a smile and trying to mama guy, but they just stay calm, cool, I think that person might have a better chance of being able to get a second chance as opposed to the person who face upside down and very upset to see you.
But Mr. Williams, it will all depend on the offense. Because let's say you're driving under the influence.
No, well, of course. No, it's not blind there.
If it's something like
a tail light, you see the tail light.
Now explain the same thing with the tail light. If you bought blue and I think I would have heard the Prime Minister, the Honorable Prime Minister on TV last night, speaking about giving discretion based on the offense. There are some offenses that we could give discretion for. But let me tell you something. Discretion is solely on the police officer. He or she does not have to.
Yeah, I understand.
And you should not be upset if at that point in time, because let me tell you this, Mr. Williams, Trinidad and Tobago motoring community would give you an excuse for driving on the shoulder.
Yeah. Was the best you would have heard?
I have an emergency. My wife is home. She's pregnant and have to go now. But you are driving on the shoulder, risking your life and somebody else. It's like, now let's say that emergency is really genuine and you happen to get in an accident, you knock down somebody, you now put somebody's family that in another problem and yourself while rushing to an emergency. So you still didn't reach you one time. You're now in more hot water because you are driving on the shoulder and you got into an accident. Yeah, you open to civil suit and all kind of things.
Went from the frying pan into the fire there. But yeah, I understand, and I think I understand. There is certain infractions. No, there's no room there, no insurance. I mean, come on, it's not blind there. But I guess, as you said, it's really based on that interaction, based on the infraction, and how you treat with it. Let me ask you. In terms of, as we back to school now, just some tips, Officer Russell, as you know, the students, the parents, and motorists, and everyone. We back to the second term and back to heavy traffic again, and the school children out and about. Some tips.
What I want to tell the parents in Trinidad and Tobago, you are that first guardian of your child. Speak to your children. Tell them about the behaviors that is required at school. Teach them to respect authority, which is teachers, police, firemen, etc., the principal, the deans. Go through your children's book, go through their knapsacks and stuff like that. Go through their cell phones, see what content that they are looking at. It is important that you encourage the younger children not to take jobs from strangers. For parents as well, verify persons who you are hiring to do transport for your children. Ensure that their license is in order, that their vehicle has been inspected. Ensure that you put on their seat belts. before you move off, ensure that persons are using the Bluetooth who are driving your children. And there are so many things. Our motorists, school is open again. Be careful your speed in the school zones. Pay attention.
That's serious, you know. We do. I think we take that for granted here.
Very much so.
In the U.S., Florida especially.
Oh, the ticket, the fine is double.
Listen, you have to drive almost at a dead slow. Yeah, I mean that they take that very serious overseas.
School zone and work zone, where construction is going on. You know, we need to really take stock.
Yes, P. Russell, do you and officers pull up on students who are out of school during school hours, like random 9:30, 10 o'clock, they just driven around the place? Because yesterday I saw about 9:30, about 5 children in uniform just traipsing on the Eastern Main Road.
Of course we do, because we want to know why are they not in school. There is a team in Barataria that I usually see on an evening. They always out ensuring that the children, they park the police vehicle and ensure that the children get into vehicles quickly to go on their way to their respective homes, you know, rather than have them lingering. When they start to linger, the devil will indeed find work for idle hands.
And that's where sometimes you could have clash and and sometimes people waiting for special car. I mean, we all went to school. We know.
Definitely.
We know the culture. But you're still very much active.
We are still very much. You see, we want to really. You know, it's not just about enforcement of laws, but we want to prevent. We don't want to go there and come after the fight happen, or after someone is injured. We don't want to have to come out there to issue you a ticket. We want, when we stop you, your driver's permit is valid, your insurance is valid, your vehicle. Because look, we are in the dry season, but rain is forecasted for the weekend. There are some persons say who have the opinion, well, rain not falling, so I wouldn't buy the new tires yet.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. As we wrap things up, I have to say kudos. I would have seen a tremendous presence during Christmas, all in the Kwezi, police on the main road moving. Is it that exercise will continue into 2026, into Carnival and beyond?
Well, let me tell you, yes, it will definitely continue, and I thank you for the kudos. I say thanks to all the members of the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, from the Commissioner, the Executive, the First and Second Division officers, because I am one who I am totally aware of the sacrifices that our men and women within the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service make to ensure that Trinidad and Tobago is a safer place. Well,
ESP Russell, I mean, we always have our frank, open, honest discussions, and I think that's a great way. We had a great one to start 2026.
Definitely.
And let's monitor, you know, what's happening there on the roads, and let's keep everyone abreast of all developments. ESP Russell, all the best. Be safe. God spare. Next week we do it again.
Thank you very much. Have a good day, Trinidad and Tobago.
Up next, your mental health matters with Johan Say, our first conversation for 2026. He's asking,